Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 in Flux. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we talk about movies on this show. And it is a special occasion. It is the 80th birthday of Batman,
Give or take.
give or take. And it is the 1000th issue of Detective Comics this month, and because of that, it is Batman month, meaning bar the Patreon vote winner episode, all the episodes of Influx this month, of which there will be extras, will all be Batman movies. We are doing a concentrated dose of Dark Knight.
Yeah. Sorry about that if you don't like Batman.
Just, if you don't like Batman, A, you're weird, and B, sorry, yes.
See you in April.
Not a lot of Batman stuff. Yes. This is assuming, of course, the Detective 1000 will be on schedule and come out in March, because we're recording this in advance. If it gets pushed to April, then April will be Batman month, and it'll be April when you're watching this.
Yes. But they wouldn't dare do that because they want to hit the anniversary.
That's true. But hey, so yeah, we're about Batman, and we're starting with 1989's Batman, which we will. Did we do a spoiler-free section on this?
Is there any point?
Yeah, probably not. All right, full spoilers for Batman. Tim Burton, 1989. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, the one of the early blockbusters of comic book cinema. Obviously, Superman came first, but about 10, 11 years. But if I remember correctly, 1989 was like the most profitable summer at the movies ever at the time. Because I think it was between this, I want to say Lethal Weapon 2 and I think Indiana Jones 3 were the three that kind of propelled it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, okay.
But so 1989, it's a great year because I was born that year, so the world was infinitely a better place from this year on.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Batman did more good than you did.
Not this Batman.
Oh, this Batman.
Not this Batman. No. So, yes. So I'm going to warn everyone who's true, because this movie has a lot of fans. This movie is nostalgic for a lot of people. There's an entire generation of people who will stand by Tim Burton's Batman. I am not one of those people. I don't hate it. I'm saving that for the next one. But I don't hate it. But I'm not that fond of it. I have a lot of problems. There's a lot of things I just don't like. So,
Okay.
But obviously I'm a Batman fan. It's worth pointing out here that we're both DC Comics fans. We're both Batman fans. We've both read a good amount of Batman. Consumed a lot of Batman through various means, be comic books, video games, whatever. So, put that. Just put the context of we're not just people who have watched the movies and nothing else. We're people who have read a lot of the books and have opinions on our favorite runs of Batman, our favorite eras of Batman. Who should Batman be with? Who should his sidekicks be? Who, should he be alone? What design of the Batsuit to be like? Who the best villains are? How should the villains be portrayed? All these kind of things. We have opinions on these things. So that is the viewpoint of which we will be tackling this. So, your reaction implies though that you still quite like this first Batman movie.
I do. I'd not seen this movie in maybe a decade. It'd been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I remember. Maybe I'm just I've got a more cynical. I've grown to like Tim Burton less, even though there's still a handful of films I enjoy, but overall it doesn't excite me. I thought okay, and I don't know, I wasn't sure, and then I actually liked it more than I remembered I did.
That's interesting. I feel like every time I've seen this since I was a kid, I've liked it less and less.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a bad Batman movie.
Okay.
Specifically as an adaptation, I think it's bad. As just as a movie on its own, I really enjoy it.
All right. Okay. All right. Interesting.
It's like I say some things about Man of Steel in that I think it's an atrocious Superman movie, but as a movie, it's all right. It's not. I think this is better than that. I think whereas if you get to Batman v Superman, that just fails as a movie. Even putting the character issues aside, I think that's just an awful movie. Whereas this here, I think is pretty good.
Okay. Interesting.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to fight you on that too much. I mean, I think the other big contextual thing that I should get out of the way here is that I do not like Tim Burton. I have never liked Tim Burton as a director. I don't like his style. And yeah, so him getting a hold of one of my favorite characters is kind of just, red
It
alert.
is joy to the world.
No, it's red alert. That's everyone at DEF CON 5. So that is kind of there. That is like just part of why I don't like it as well, I think. But
Is 5 the bad DEF CON? I thought it was 1.
I don't know.
I always thought 1 was the bad one.
I feel like I've heard enough people say it both ways that I'm not sure which one's right.
That's fair.
So, that's what it is. I think if I'm debating, is it good as a movie, even if you ignore what it's adapting, although a lot of what I'm going to talk about is the adaptation elements, I guess would be... So we're taking this main character of Batman, of Bruce Wayne.
Mm.
What in this movie makes you root for him?
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't say it was a perfect movie. I said I enjoyed it.
Okay. Right. Because that's one of my problems with this, both as an adaptation and as just as a movie on its own, is like, why am I rooting for this guy? There's very little insight to who he is or why he's doing what he's doing.
I think something that is interesting for me is I like Batman quite a lot. I'm not so keen on this Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is kind of weird. And not only is he weird on his own, I think the way the world knows about him is weird. Like, the fact that a journalist doesn't know what he looks like is kind of bizarre to me. Or even that later on, like, it's like a shock when they find out his parents were murdered, when they research him. I'm like, wait, what? And then it occurred to me, like, yeah, do you know what? They've never actually mentioned Wayne Enterprises in this. Like, is that even a thing in this world? Like,
Yeah, but he's clearly a person of high society. It's established at the start, in the speeches. There's a seat for him at the table. So he's clearly got influence.
Yeah, but and okay. Vicky Vale doesn't necessarily live in Gotham. She's here because of the rumors of the Batman, right? Fine. But what about Knox? Knox works in Gotham. He's part of the press in Gotham City. If Bruce Wayne's someone who's supposed to show up at these government hall meetings, I feel like he would probably know what he looks like, but he doesn't.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, unless because as much as I said there is a seat at the table for him, he's not there. Maybe he never shows up.
Maybe he never shows up. Yeah, maybe he's always been elusive. But again, if we're talking adaptation problems, then the whole idea of like the public persona of Bruce Wayne, to dispel the idea that Bruce Wayne is Batman has always been, not always, but it's often part of the story. So you could say that it's not doing that element even remotely in this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's the thing. Here's a really weird thing I've noticed the last couple times I've watched it as well. So it's a really small thing, but it really bugs me. So Vicky goes on a date with Bruce at his place at the mansion, right? And there's that big joke scene where they've got the big long table, which is just there for some awkward humor.
Yeah.
And he says to her, "Did you find the place okay?" She was there earlier on. She was there for the party. Why wouldn't she find the place okay? Was she flown in blindfolded the first time?
Maybe she came as part of a troupe.
It's still a weird thing, yeah.
It is weird, yeah. No, I this one I'd never actually kind of noticed that being so weird, but
it's such a weird line of dialogue. Oh, like
I said, I guess did she possibly arrive as part of a party earlier? With everyone, and she wasn't driving.
Maybe was she even driving this time though?
I mean, I assume so. How else does she get there?
I feel like Bruce sends a limo. At which point it's a really weird question because you've sent someone who knows where these.
Yeah, that's why I'm
going.
assuming he didn't send a limo because
okay.
Then it's really pointless.
I was just saying the logic falls apart.
The implication is she got herself there.
And she's drinking booze at dinner, which implies she's not intending on going home.
Well, she's not.
I don't know if she wasn't intending the second she arrived. Come on now.
I don't know. I think she was like, I want me some of this Bruce Wayne.
She was sitting across that stupid long table with the crappy soup, thinking, yeah, he's getting some tonight. No, no, no. She wasn't thinking that then. She was thinking, I'm going to drink drive my way home. I need the
She
booze to get through
probably
this.
was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll just say there's some logic holes here that don't quite add up for me. But honestly, my big thing watching this, now obviously I'm going to complain about Batman killing so willy-nilly later on, because of course I am, because it bothers me. But this is actually kind of weird, because the big thing with Batman 89 is that how it got away from the 60s show, right? And that was the big thing, is like how dark it is compared to the 60s show, and how it matured Batman for a whole generation. I think this is campy as shit.
I mean, compared to today's standards, it is. Compared to the 60s show, it's not.
Sure, but I don't... yeah, I also don't like the 60s show. So
No, but you're saying, oh, it's campy. Yeah, but it wasn't campy at release.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not arguing that it was, though. I'm arguing that I can't enjoy this because it's too campy for me.
Oh, that's just...
I
boring.
hate the Joker electrifying someone and actually leaving a skeleton. I hate some of the Joker goons
I
who
love
like
that.
break out their katanas and start swinging them around like idiots. Ones even get like
Do you know-
sword stilt things at one point.
There's that one that every time I watch it, I think it's going to do with the thing from Indiana Jones. He's there in the alley swinging his swords, and Batman's just standing there watching. I'm waiting for him to just pull to that and put him down in one move.
Yes, but no. Yeah, so much of this is so campy to me.
Yeah, but I have to say, as someone who very much enjoys the campy 60s Batman, I'm okay with that.
It just like there's very little like emotional resonance in this movie, and it just kind of like it feels so paper thin. It's just here for the style and nothing else, and it bugs me because I'm someone who does like I know it's like some people are like, oh, you take Batman too seriously, you take your characters too seriously, but I like to care about what's happening. I like to get emotional. Like this is not something that has to be like off the charts. I think the current Marvel movies do a good job of this, where they make you care about the main character. There's enough weight there. You can argue that they don't always pull it off. That sometimes the stakes feel a bit lacking or whatever. And yeah, that's fine. Like of course it do. Sometimes it doesn't work, but there's always at least the attempt of doing it. This I feel just kind of. This is my problem with Tim Burton in general, though. To be honest, is that it's all about the style. Everything else is just kind of a backseat. I very rarely care about his characters. I definitely don't in this, but by any stretch.
I mean, for me, I wouldn't. Do I care about Batman? I don't know, but what I do like is I really like Joker. When he's actually, once he's Joker, I do like Nicholson doing that stuff, and the idea that no, he's Jokerizing, Joker gassing the city, and then Batman has to step up and stop him essentially. I like that stuff. I like the idea that that Batman created him. I mean, obviously that is often a metaphorical thing. This is a bit more literal.
I definitely prefer it metaphorical, but I also hate the side of this where he's like, yeah, but you also created him.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a big fan of that element as an adaptation.
Yeah.
I think though, as an adaptation, I hate that. As part of this movie, I think it works really well as an element in this movie.
Yeah, I can't agree with it. It's the sort of thing that makes me roll my eyes too much. Like, I don't know. It's one of those like narrative things that just feels like a forced twist.
A little contrived.
Yeah, it's contrived. It feels just for the sake of having you got the symmetry because it's like poetry. It rhymes. Shut up, George Lucas.
Yeah, but sometimes poetry's cool.
Not when it's forced.
Rarely, but
Not when it's forced. Yeah, I gotta say, like, do you know what I hate about the Joker in this? I hate that fake prosthetic smile that's constantly there.
I think it's fine when he's in Joker makeup.
I don't. I hate that he can't really frown. To me, the Joker does have a range of expressions.
Yes.
And I feel like it kind of limits it because even when you can tell he's not actually smiling, he still has this fake smile on, and it doesn't really work for me, and it kind of bugs me. Yeah, do you know, it's funny. I grew up with this movie, so I should have tons of nostalgia for it. And as I've grown up, I've just kind of liked it. I still don't hate it as much as Returns. I'm going to tear Returns to shreds when I get to it.
I have not seen Returns in about 15 years, so I don't know how I'm going to feel on that one.
Because one of my complaints with Returns, and I do kind of feel it here to a point, is that I never get this feeling that Batman's actually a hero. Like, I never really feel like he's doing or accomplishing anything that much. He saves all the people at the parade, sure. That does happen, technically.
Yeah.
But why does he fly up to the moon to make, like, a makeshift bat?
For the trailer. For the trailer.
There's lots of stupid little things in this that just happen because... there's one that really bugs me, actually, is see when Joker, like, hijacks the TV, right? And he's doing his own, like, ad where he's telling them about the money. He's gonna give them money at the end of the, in the parade. And it does this thing where you see in the TV control booth, like, the 4 monitors, right? And 2 of them on the left are still the mayor of Gotham City, and the 2 on the right are Joker. And for some reason, the mayor and everyone on the stairs is looking over as if they're looking at that screen. And I'm like, what are they actually looking at? He's not there in person. And then not only that...
I assume they've got a screen out there where they are.
That can explain it. There's a screen over that side, and it's just there for the effect. That's fine. You can explain that. What you can't explain later on, because keep in mind, the people at home are only seeing the Joker, right? They're only seeing the Joker, one colour monitor of the Joker at home. Joker, later in the scene, says, oh, enough of those guys, and then goes with his hand and wipes, and it wipes across the other 2 monitors and takes over with more of him. What did that do for anyone at home? Could they even still hear the others? This is almost as stupid as that scene at the start of Superman 3 where the 2 traffic lights start fighting with each other.
Stupid or amazing?
I don't know. Do you know what bugs me about this? Is that I feel like when you make complaints about these things, a criticism that will get thrown back at you is obviously like, oh, it's a comic book thing, this is comic booky, and I'm like, no, it's not. Shut up.
No, I'm not defending that being.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying this is a thing. People associate comic books with this kind of thing of just these silly visual gags and campiness and whatnot, and I'm like, no, they don't have to be. None of the comic books I like are like that for sure.
Yeah, here's the thing. I like a lot of the gritty, serious, proper stories that you do.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be gritty and serious. I like plenty of just fun things.
No, that's fine. But you really don't like camp things.
Oh, I hate camp. Camp is terrible.
And I'm all down for it.
Camp.
I can see why you hate Returns.
Yeah, camp and whimsy. Jettisoned.
Yeah, I can have a lot of fun with that, and I do. That's what I have a lot of fun with here. These camp elements that you are like, oh, this is horrible. That's like half of the enjoyment of this movie for me. Is those elements.
I hate them. I hate them so much. This is going to be blasphemous, but I don't even necessarily like Jack Nicholson as a Joker that much.
Really? I mean, it's not like my favorite Joker, obviously.
But it's not that I dislike Jack Nicholson. I think he's a fine presence and an actor. My problem is they cast him because they thought, well, Jack Nicholson can basically play himself and he's the Joker, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
And all I'm getting is Jack Nicholson. I'm not getting Joker.
Okay.
You know, like, and I don't want to just compare everything to Heath Ledger because obviously Heath Ledger is like this monumental like achievement and Joker performance, right? But the one thing I will compare it to in the sense is that Heath Ledger, like, is disguised when he plays the Joker in Dark Knight. You watch that movie, you don't even see him in there, right? He becomes the Joker. It is a performance. Sure. When I'm watching Jack Nicholson in this, I'm just seeing Jack Nicholson with white face paint, doing hammy jokes and things like that. I don't know. Everything just feels very surface level. I feel like there's no actual weight to the story behind. Why is Bruce doing this in the city? At one point, Vicky Vale, when she's let in the Batcave by Alfred, good job, Alfred. She kind of asks like, "Why are you doing this?" And he just says, "Oh, I just have to." Just cause.
Yeah. No, his motivation is thin. That's probably the worst part of the movie for me.
His motivation's thin.
Joker doing his thing for revenge and just because he can. That works for me because that's kind of Joker, right? Just because he can. And then Batman stops him because not at that point it's not a motivation of why is he Batman, why all that stuff, but it's a motivation to stop Joker specifically, right? Especially once Vicky's involved, and there's the personal element for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think another problem I have with the Joker Batman relationship in this is not only does it become this thing that's destined to happen because Joker killed his parents in the first place, and then the whole cycle thing. It's also that it actually kind of flips on its head the actual relationship and what it's supposed to be, because Joker actually wants to kill Batman throughout this whole movie. He hates Batman. He's like, oh, this Bat guy, he's like taking all my press. He's taking all the attention away from me, and that is like the polar opposite to like any Joker I've ever liked, where Joker loves playing the game with Batman. That's what Joker's about. He's about having Batman show up and interfere and mess with them and do all these things. Making it about revenge on either side kind of bugs me because it's just kind of like the wrong motivation for me for these characters.
No, that's but like I said, I keep coming back to, as an adaptation, you're right on that.
Yeah.
In this movie,
tons of things. The fact that Batman sends his Batmobile with miniguns into a plant and then blows it up, even though there's probably people all over it. When he flips a guy over the balcony in the belfry, and this guy just goes down like hundreds of feet to his death.
Yeah, he does.
Or even the fact that when he's just facing down Joker in the Batplane, he just opens up fire and machine guns, try to hit Joker, and misses somehow. Joker's got like this bulletproof aura around him or something. I don't know.
Look,
or Joker pulling out that stupid big gun and shooting down a flying vehicle.
Is that stupid?
If it was a rocket launcher, no. It's a pistol with a really, really long.
I love that bit.
What would you call that main bit? The pistol.
The barrel.
The barrel. Thank you. Yes. I was blanking on a name.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say spout, and it's not spout.
No, it's definitely not a spout.
Although now I've got an idea for like a jug that's sort of like gun shaped, and you pour it out the barrel, and the handle's like a
What you're describing is a water gun.
No, but with like enough containment to actually make it like a tea serving.
Okay.
Oh, not even tea, booze. Because if you get a shot of something, you can actually pour it out the gun.
See, now I'm interested.
Get it out the gun, so it's actually a shot.
Yeah, they do that. You just shoot a water gun full of it. I've seen that.
Now, see, I imagine something made of metal that's classy, not like a stupid little water gun.
I'm thinking not like the tiny little ones, like the ones that you pump,
right?
With the big tank on the back. One of those. I've been in bars where they've got loaded those up with like Jaeger, and they've just squirted it into people's mouths.
Civilized.
Hey, I never said I was classy.
Good. Oh dear. So yeah. Also, this bit, the everything, and even though it's like 2 hours long, I feel like the first like chunk of it moves really fast. Like it's determined to get Jack to become Joker. Which I mean, obviously, I don't want to see the origin of Joker. I don't want to know how he becomes Joker. This is a thing. But it's determined to do that really quickly, and it's determined to just kind of set up everything really quickly that it feels like it's just going through a checklist of things it can do before it gets to the set pieces that it wants to do. The set pieces in the art gallery, the set piece in the what else happens with Batman.
Which is but those are the best bits of the movie, right? So
what you mean?
Let's get there.
The 4-minute long Prince montage while they're painting over things.
You're gonna tell me you're not a Prince fan either?
I wouldn't say I'm not against Prince, but I literally only know this Prince song because of Batman.
Okay.
He did a thing called Purple Rain, I believe.
You're an awful person, you know that.
Never heard of it though. Oh dear. Call me crazy. I don't believe a Batman movie is something that should have like a popular artist attached to it, which is something that all these 4 of this era all have actually.
You're crazy, because why not?
because orchestral is the way to go.
Speaking of,
Yeah, we're going to talk about Danny Elfman now.
I think we should. I think that's a good a point as any.
I'm not typically a fan of Danny Elfman, but I'll give it to him. For the most part, it's the best part of the movie is the music. I don't like some of the hijinky stuff though. At some of the points, but some of the
Joker bits.
It's not even the Joker bits. There was a bit with Batman. I think it's during the opening stuff where he attacks the two muggers on the roof. Like it's all very like dark and for a while, and then after he like knocks one guy down, I think there's this sort of like hijinky bit that comes in. I don't like, but
okay.
His animated series theme's better.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I'm also usually not a huge fan of Elfman. I think I like him in very certain situations. I think with Tim Burton is at his best because I think his style really suits Tim Burton's movies. And I think his score is perfect for this movie. I've said before, I don't want this theme, this Batman music to be applied to other versions of Batman. I don't want to go into the next Batman movie and hear this this theme.
No, not at all.
It's not. It doesn't transcend the movie in the same way that John Williams' Superman theme does, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No,
this theme is not Batman, but it is this movie.
Yes, I will concur with that.
Yeah, no, I really like it. They're doing a nice new vinyl release soon that I'm planning on picking up.
Going back to how surface level I think this is, where it's all just going through the motions to have its set pieces. Let me ask you this, and this goes back to me not thinking the emotional sort of backbone is there. Is what is the arc of any character in this movie? Specifically Bruce and Batman, because he's supposed to be the main character.
What is his arc? Okay, well, I mean, it's I would assume his connection to people again. I think I said at the start, it's implied he's very reclusive. He's never really been seen. Even though he's hosting events at his house, people don't really know who he is. But he opens up and has a relationship with Vicky. He starts to care. I assume by the the point is that he's connecting with his human side again, almost. As opposed to just being the Batman.
This feels like a stretch.
That's what I get from it.
It feels like a stretch, and if that was the point, I feel like it's all away by the time Return of Stars.
Well, yeah, that's a different question entirely, though, isn't it? That's you can't blame this movie for what Returns does.
Like I don't know what he learns by the end, and if that is meant to be the narrative point of the movie, I think it's poorly told.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't care. I don't care about anything that's going on. If you're here, you're here for the music and the visuals. And Tim Burton's visuals I don't typically like. Some of them in this are okay though. Like the shots of the city are kind of fun and pulpy for what they are. They're okay. It does have a kind of a fake feeling to it, but it kind of works for what it is. So I won't criticize that too much.
Yeah, I think the general design overall is pretty good. I think the Batsuit's pretty solid.
It's too stiff.
No, it's a bit stiff in its material, but in terms of the look of it,
because not only do you have the classic joke of he's not being able to turn his head, the moment that really stuck out to me is when they're at the Axis Chemicals after Joker's fell in the vat. The Batman drops a smoke pellet to escape.
Yeah,
and it's when he drops the smoke pellet and he sort of stands back up after he's dropped it. He stands up so rigid and straight, waiting for the smoke to kind of fill out the area. That it just looked really unnatural and kind of goofy before he glides off.
No, I agree. The material itself is very restrictive. I'm talking about design, just aesthetically.
Yeah.
I think it looks good in that sense.
Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, it's not terrible by any means.
Love the Batmobile.
Yeah, but it was okay. I will say, watching it now, I feel like the fins at the back look particularly. I don't want to say cheap, but they look kind of
fake.
Yeah, kind of fake. They look like the same metal that the car would be.
No, you're right. They feel almost like plasticky.
Yeah, and I don't think that like, Forever and Robin when we get there are going to have that look. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll get to those and they'll equally look kind of plasticky. But
well, they might do. Yeah.
yeah, I've never been like when it comes to Batmobiles for me. I've always had a really mixed opinion on this because I do like the practical kind of. It's there for a reason. It's not there to be a stylish thing. And I feel like this era of Batmobiles does tend to go for these ridiculous big long cars with big fins and like, why did they design it this way? What was the purpose of this? And I get it. Some people don't like the Tumbler because the Tumbler is too tank-like.
It goes too far. No, I agree with that. I get it as a utility vehicle. I like it in that movie as the point of where it's come from, its design function.
I think there's a happy medium in the middle though that
there probably is.
That I think would work better for most people, myself included. Although I like the Tumbler more than I like the car in this, or just on its like in terms of how it's used in the movie and its purpose in the movie.
In narratively, okay.
Yeah. Whereas here it is just we need to sell a toy, so we're going to put a Batmobile in, and it'll have this fancy armor like ability, just cause.
It's kind of cool.
just cause.
Hey, it comes in handy.
Yeah,
it's voice controlled. That's also useful.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that one.
Bit far-fetched for 1989, but yeah.
Hey, come on, Batman's ahead of the game.
25 years ahead of the game.
You know it.
But it doesn't seem that ridiculous because it's something that we have kind of gotten to. Although I'd argue that it's still not as good as perfect as it is in this.
It's not, the bit where it's driving up to him, it just says stop, and it's like right before him.
Yeah, it ain't as good as that.
It's not. But come on, you got to let those things slide at least.
Well, it's one of those things because in some movies I'm like, okay, it's a big cartoon, I can kind of let things go. But I think because I don't like Tim Burton's handle on things, and I don't really care about the characters. And on top of that, though, I do care about the characters from other things. Like, I care about the character in concept. I have an attachment to a lot of these characters. I hate the character that Gordon is in this. Like, he's just this fat cop who's not even a part of the plot. He's just kind of there.
He is the best kind of there, yeah.
And it felt like they spent time setting up Harvey Dent, but by halfway through the movie, he's just kind of forgotten, and he's gone for the rest of it.
That's not true. He shows up again at the end for a little speech.
Okay, sure, he's got a speech at the end, but that's about it. Because I feel like you see him like 4 or 5 times in the first half hour, and then just...
It's true, and I really like him in that open half.
Oh, Billy Dee Williams is great. I will not mock Billy Dee Williams. He's a gem.
He's a great Harvey, and would have been a fantastic Two-Face, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think had they made the third one with Michael Keaton and Tim Burton came back for it, maybe we would have gotten Two-Face with Billy Dee. But
yeah, I'd have loved to see it because I think it'd have been fantastic.
I can't say with a straight face I would have wanted a third Burton Batman movie, regardless of seeing Billy Dee Williams. Although that would have definitely been the highlight of it.
Yeah. No, I'd have wanted one, probably. Just for that alone, if nothing else.
As opposed to Batman Neon, which is what you got instead.
I mean, Batman Neon is not the worst Batman.
No, you're right. Returns is the worst Batman. So.
Oh, okay. Bold statement. That is definitely an opinion that not everyone shares.
It is not, but I'll tell you this: I will happily watch Batman and Robin 10 more times, rather than watch Returns again. Not counting for when we have to do it.
I was going to say you're watching it very, very.
Yes,
soon.
I am, but. Past that, I'd rather watch Robin again 10 more times because Robin's a terrible movie. Like, obviously, we're going to get to that and talk about it, but
everyone knows it's a terrible movie.
Yeah. But Returns is I hate that movie so much. But so, what else are we talking about here? We're talking about. I mean, is there anything else to talk about? Is there narratively enough to even discuss it beyond this point?
I don't know.
Do we talk about? I mean, there's more. There's a lot of contrivances actually. There's a lot of little contrivances here or there throughout it. Like Joker happened to show up at Vicky Vale's apartment when Bruce is there, kind of thing. Why doesn't Bruce like indicate to her that he's okay afterwards or anything like that?
Doesn't want to give the game away.
Yeah, even though he was literally about to tell her he's Batman.
Yeah.
That was the scene.
Well, I think more he doesn't want to give the game away to give Joker an edge.
But he's left. He's gone.
But just for future reference. Joker then thinks Bruce Wayne's dealt with for a large portion of the movie.
So, well, yeah, but he doesn't know Bruce Wayne's Batman, though, so what does it matter?
It's true. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So Vicky just kind of guesses based on murdered parents when she learns that
And then
information.
Alfred's like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I again, like, that's like a huge shock to the world. Like, surely the murder of the Waynes was a big deal when it happened.
It probably was, but I mean, given her age, you know, she would have not seen it at the time. And you know, as we said, she's not from Gotham, so I buy her not knowing.
Okay. Oh yeah, but again, I'm talking about like Knox reacting to it.
Yeah, that one's.
That's kind of weird, you know. I mean, I'm assuming he grew up in Gotham, but I mean, maybe he didn't. But I don't know. It feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels. I feel like every other interpretation I've seen of the Wayne's death's always been, oh, it shocked the city to its core, and you know.
It's true, but it does seem in this version the Waynes weren't, you know, these huge influential people in the city, right? There's no mention of that.
That's fair that there isn't. No.
So I feel like it is a little unfair to hold that against it when it never pretends that was the case.
True, but that comes to the adaptation problems, and I feel like I get why you want to criticize it without that to a point, but I think ultimately as a Batman fan, I have to then criticize it for the adaptation problems. I have to criticize it for Batman killing people. I have to criticize it for Jim Gordon being a wasted, useless character.
These ones I definitely agree with. The one with the Waynes, that's one I'm not too bothered about. That's one, okay, you can change that and you can do your version of that. I don't, that doesn't have to be all the Waynes are always these huge influential people.
Knowing Joker's past, Joker's motivations in general and what he's doing, and obviously there's elements of things there, like they kind of imply there's some corruption, they kind of imply that, or at least, you know, what Joker's doing with the gas is very Joker-like in and of itself, at least, even if I don't like all of the other things around it and why he's doing it. But, yeah, honestly, there's just too many moments in this movie where I just kind of think that's too stupid. And because there's no emotional investment, because I don't care about the plot and what the characters are doing, I don't care at all, and because of that, it's kind of a boring watch. I actually fell asleep halfway through it when I watched it today.
Fair enough. See, this is the thing. I agree there's not a huge emotional investment, but the difference is the stuff that you're going, oh, that's boring, that's too stupid. I'm having fun. So I'm getting this there's a fun element that carries through a lot of those things. You know, just if you're having fun with it, sometimes surface level is okay when it's enjoyable to watch. And for me, it is. Like,
yeah, when you don't find any of that enjoyable to watch, the lack of any emotional or impact. Cat, what are you doing? Cat.
Yeah.
But when you're not having fun, you need the actual drama. You need the actual the emotional backbone, or it's just fluff. And that's what I feel like when I watch this movie. It just feels like fluff to me, and nothing's really that important. And I like a lot of dumb, stupid things, right? I do. But it varies. Like, I love Chopping Mall, but me and Tim just, reviewed recently Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I actually like that movie that much. I think it's trying too hard to be stupid.
Okay.
This, it's not like Chopping Mall was trying to be a serious movie. Obviously, it wasn't. It's a movie about killer robots in a mall. Of course,
it's fantastic.
It's a fantastic movie.
Well, I like this movie, but Chopping Mall's better.
Chopping Mall is better. I like Chopping Mall way more.
I'm happy to go on record to say Chopping Mall is a better movie than Batman '89.
I just, Joe, the feeling I get when I'm watching this is that it's like, okay, they hired Tim Burton because he's done some dark things, right? But I don't necessarily get the impression that Tim Burton actually loves Batman.
Oh, we know he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't.
Yeah.
See, this thing, I know there's a lot of things you don't like, but I don't think it. Even for you, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just things that you really don't like personally, or all the camp elements and stuff like that. I don't think any of those are actually bad. I think they're just subjective to taste. They're not necessarily good either. I find them enjoyable.
I'd argue it's still not a great movie because of the lack of motivation and character arcs. I think the lack of the character arc and therefore any kind of like, okay, this is what the story was about by the time he got to the end.
Yeah.
Like, the lack of that, I think, makes it at best a mediocre movie.
No, that's fair. I think it's average, and then for me is elevated by the enjoyment of the style and the camp elements, stuff like that, and the music. Those are what I'm here for in this movie.
Yeah. This will probably be the last time I'll watch it. I don't think I'll ever have a reason to again.
That's it. You've done your review now. You're good.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'll ever, like, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'll never will, because given that the Batman series is something that I might have to come back to for some other project at some point. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I'm never going to choose to watch this just to watch it.
Fair enough.
You know, it will only ever be watched for some purpose that is beneficiary in another way. Like, oh, I'll get a finished product out of it that'll people will like or make money or whatever. I don't know, but I am never going to sit there and go, you know what, I'm going to put on Tim Burton's Batman again, because you know what, I've got enough good Batman material to read or watch. I don't need to deal with this.
That's fair. Just something that we didn't relate to. Keaton. How do you feel about him as Batman? Where do you stand?
He's kind of a weird choice. He was kind of cast, at least my interpretation of it, is that it feels like he was cast because he worked with Tim Burton already, not necessarily because he was like, oh, you're the best best actor for this role. And it's kind of weird because I agree he's probably much better as Batman than he is as Bruce Wayne. But I feel like his Batman's kind of weird in the sense that I feel like the suit has intentionally been designed to make him look big and bulky compared to what he actually is.
Yes.
And it gives it this kind of weird presence as a result of that. He's okay, though. He's not a bad performance as Batman. His Bruce Wayne is just written to be like, again, he's this reclusive millionaire instead of being what we think of as typical Bruce Wayne. It's something where like Val Kilmer actually is a pretty decent Bruce Wayne when we get to Forever. Yeah. As Batman, but Bruce Wayne, not bad.
Yeah, like in this, the bit where he's talking to the muggers and he goes, I'm Batman. I believe him.
I believe him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Though, I think he's in the moment. I think, yeah, he is. He is Batman.
I need to hear him say Martha, and why did you say that name before I can properly judge this.
Yeah, but I think that's the moment that solidifies it. As Batman, I don't think he's the best Batman, but I think he goes, "I'm Batman." I go, "Yeah, all right, I'll buy it." But I think his Bruce Wayne's not great. But I don't know how much of that's his fault.
I see. For the record, I do not hate this, or even Returns. Yeah, I don't even think I hate Returns as much as Batman v Superman. So I mean, that's something.
That is something.
Which is why I'm trying to convince Corey to do Batman v Superman at the end of this, so that it's capped off with that.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
But he's been refusing thus far to do that because
I told you doing the 60s movie is far more important.
Yeah, but if we get that one done as well, and then it's like, well, we should do Batman v Superman, do a retrospective, 4 years later.
I promise nothing. We could be busy come end of March.
We could be, but I mean, it would be a hell of a finale to go back to that movie. Give us a reason to watch the extended cut.
Oh God, no! Look, the only way I can get through BVS again is blind drunk.
Maybe we just record us watching it and you getting drunk over the course of the 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, if we do the extended cut, am I gonna die?
You might.
Like, I get pretty drunk for Arrow, and that's like 40 minutes.
Oh, oh dear. I've been really negative. I've been really kind of grumpy about Batman, and I feel like I kind of am. Like, I want to apologize and say it, but here's the positives, and there's a couple of little things I like, but for the most part, it feels like a comic book movie that came from a time before we really understood how to do them. And
Oh,
the weird thing is that I really like Superman the movie. I think Superman the movie mostly holds up. Obviously, there's some flying around the world, going backwards and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's dated a bit. The whole memory loss thing at the end of Superman 2, very questionable in a lot of ways. But I feel like the time period almost benefited Superman more because it was of a simpler time. Whereas for Batman, it's actually a hindrance because Batman, at least when he's done well, is a more complex character. Not that Superman isn't complex.
Those are fighting.
Not that
that's
Superman,
a quote I'm giving to Matt.
Not that Superman can't be complex or shouldn't be complex. What I'm saying is that Superman in a simpler time, almost by default, is done more correctly because of the way they did movies at the time and how they adapted characters. Batman,
I can hear the shovel.
Batman, in contrast, though, needs the complexity to kind of make it work. And when you try and simplify it, it doesn't. And the amusing thing is the attempts to try and make Superman more complex in movies recently has went very bad.
Yes, that is true. I would say this is a relatively simplified version of Batman, and it's enjoyable.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's taste. But I think it's enjoyable.
Yes.
And I'm not alone in that.
And I'm comparing these two here as someone who loves Superman and Batman. I'm just saying that I think the era kind of, in a weird way, almost just lent itself to the...
I get what you're saying.
To the idealistic...
No one questioned as to why isn't he more like this.
Yeah, it's like we just want to make Superman be like the good Boy Scout and have him be this symbol of hope. And it's like, at the time, it was like, yeah, let's just do that. Whereas now everyone's like, oh, well, we have to like justify it and do this and do that. So we get this weird, it's a first contact story where everyone's worried they may kill everyone on Earth. Like,
yeah, which is reasonable as a
to
concept.
A point. Yeah, read Superman Birthright. That handled it quite well.
Yeah, it's not an impossible concept to do.
Yeah, but it's almost like trying to add extra complexity to Superman where you think it's needed, where it isn't, is what results in all these weird things. Whereas Batman, it feels like you're almost simplifying him too much in something like this.
What is wrong with a man that dresses like a bat beating up criminals? That's fun.
I don't buy it. And I'm not saying you have to do an origin story, although I do think it probably needed it because it was the first Batman movie like ever. Not counting the '66 one, but that followed on from a TV show. That's not really.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. I think you could do like a new Batman series now and not start with the origin, but feel like the history and the weight is there, and tell a story with the character of where he is now in the Batman career. This I feel is not even trying to tell a story about Batman. It's just no, Joker's here and they're going to fight, and he's going to beat him, and that's it.
What's wrong with that?
I need more. I want more. It can be done better. It should be better.
Oh boy.
Also, that stupid scene with all the mimes and Joker in that stupid hat. I hate it.
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
I hate that scene. I've always hated that scene, even as a kid. I don't know why. Something about Vicky Vale following Bruce Wayne as he puts down a rose where his parents were killed, and then he just walks over to this press conference where this entire thing happens, where Joker kills that mob boss. I'm like, what? He doesn't even try to do anything. He just stands there and watches in shock.
Yeah. Like there are definitely things that bother me a lot, like flying up in front of the moon and just hanging there for the image. I'm like, yeah, all right, I get it. You want a poster, you want a trailer.
Yep. It's not even remotely justifiable. It just happens because they want the moment, not because it makes any sense in any conceivable way.
No. That is probably the most egregious moment of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the moment where the style goes too far, as to okay, we're doing this just because. That's the moment.
Yeah. Also, Joker, when he's handing out money, he's like, "Hey, who are you going to trust? I'm giving out free money," and I'm like, "You literally murdered people with cosmetic items earlier in this film. That was a danger to everyone in the city." They did a whole thing where the news broadcasters weren't even wearing like makeup, or the guy had like pimples.
It was
all over
a
his
combination
face.
of it was like face cream, deodorant,
and hairspray or something like that.
Hairspray, yeah.
And he was killing people and models, and then using the models' dead corpses in these commercials. It was a whole thing. It was just photos of them, but whatever. And it was like, but now he's like yelling, "Oh, you can trust me because I'm giving you free money." Like, people, are you idiots? He was murdering people. Like,
I mean, I think this might be the most believable bit of the movie. People go, "Hey, free money, sure." I mean, that says a lot about my opinion on people as a whole. More than it does
that's
about
more
anything
your
in this
cynicism
movie.
than it is anything else. But I'm just saying, is anyone surprised that he tried to gash you all? Are you really surprised?
No, no.
Batman kind of sucks. What do you want from it?
Batman's a lot of fun.
Batman, and when I say I mean this movie, not Batman in general. I know a lot of people have an anti-Batman thing who would love to hear me say that. I'm sorry, I like Batman as a character, but as a concept. But this movie is lacking most of what I like about Batman. So,
but it's heavy on the fun.
No, it's heavy on the stupidity.
Fun.
Campiness. Annoying. No. So that is that is Batman. That is Batman 89. And we'll be back with Batman Returns.
We will, but not before we rate this one.
Not before we rate this one, that's true. We're going to rate it. Connor, give me your absurdly high rating for Batman.
It's a 7. It's fun. It's good. I'm always happy to put it on. I would never go, no, I don't want to watch that. I mean, I might if I'm not in the mood, but, if it's on, sure, I'll watch it.
4.5.
Not quite as low as I thought you were going to go.
I'm not going to be unreasonable.
No, you'd never do that, would you?
Not going to be unreasonable. It feels like a production of a Hollywood caliber.
Yeah, I mean, it's shot with competence.
Yes,
it's edited.
Yes, but even the things that people typically say they like about this movie, a lot of them I just don't like anyway. So, I'm left with.
You're a bit of a lost cause.
I'm a bit of a lost cause in this one. That said, it's better than the next one. So look forward to my thoughts on that. Look forward. Every problem I have with this is like multiplied for Batman Returns.
Are you telling me you're not a fan of the Penguins? No. God, I want you to drunk watch it.
Given that I've never been drunk before, that might cause my death just because my body's not used to it.
It'll be a really cheap experience for you.
I just need to buy one drink.
It'll be easy.
But no, that's Batman. So by all means, argue with either one of us in the comments. Preferably Connor, but I assume people are going to argue with me. Like and subscribe, all the usual things. YouTube loves all that stuff because it helps with the analytics and their algorithms and putting it out. But if you really want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV and you can support us over there financially for as little as $1 per month and get some stuff like this type of show early. And which means this one will probably have to go up before the start of March for the patrons, now that I'm thinking about it. Just so that everything...
Yeah, we didn't think that through, did we?
Yeah, so it lines up. Yeah, that makes sense. So they get a preview. March starts a week earlier on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. So yeah, go have a look and have a look see. But that's just, of course, if you wanted to hear us talk more about Batman and other DC characters, we do have two things that may be of interest. We have Television from the Multiverse, which is the DC TV podcast that me and Cara do, where we talk about all the DC TV shows every week. And we also have Comics from the Multiverse, which is us two plus Matt, who talk about some of a lot of the DC comics that are getting released every week. I say a lot of,
including Batman.
I say a lot of because we don't necessarily read the ones we don't like every week, but we get together every week and talk about the comics. So have a look see for that. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies. Keep being Batman. I guess that's really applicable to one person, I suppose. But keep being Batman, Bruce. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Vengeance is the night.